if, like me, you have quite a sizable stash, you are going to love this video. I'm going to have you inspired to use up all your stash and your scrap yarn with these quick and easy stash busting patterns. In case you haven't met before, my name is Fiona. I'm a bit of a yarn addict and I need to get using some of this up so that I can justify buying some more yarn. I've recently been sharing my journey where I'm sorting through my stash and sorting out my scrap yarn, making some magic yarn balls. And I thought it'd be a really nice idea to share some of the pattern roundup that I've created over on my website, where there are about maybe 60, 80 different scrap projects that you can use to use up your stash, or to use some of your scrap yarns, creating beautiful projects that you can feel proud of. To make it really easy to find the links for each of the patterns, I'm going to be showing you the patterns in order they're listed on my website, so you can quickly and easily find the ones you like the look of and be inspired to get stitching, and click on through to the designer's website to view the free pattern. There are so many different patterns to share with you. I've grouped together the patterns based on the amount of weight of yarn you need to recreate it. So it's not based on the yarn weight, but the actual physical weight of your scrap yarn or the stash that you have that you're looking to use. So there are about 4 different categories. We've got under 100 grams, so like less than a skein or ball of yarn. We've got 1 to 200 grams of wool to make a pattern. And then we've got 200 to 400. There's quite a few to get through. I'm just showing you some of my absolute favorites that I've rounded up, but there are so many more that you can view over on my website as well. Now I'm going to try and keep making this magic ball a little bit bigger as I chat to you, but I want to show you the beautiful patterns and show you the images of them so that you can be inspired to make even more patterns as well. So let's dive straight in with some of those smaller weight patterns that are going to make you want to get stitching. So the first pattern I'm highlighting is this beautiful Ice Pop Amigurumi by Raf Musa Designs. Her imagery is kind of identifiable alone, let alone the cuteness of the patterns, and this little ice pop is absolutely adorable. I might even be tempted to make some myself. It really doesn't take a lot of yarn, but what I really like about the pattern, even in this photo, you can see that it's been stitched up in different weight yarns, and it just makes the pattern ever so slightly larger. I would like to see it stitched up in some blanket yarn, so if you make one, let me know. I could not resist this really cute love bug lip balm kind of pouch holder thing. Is really, really adorable. It's by Start Crochet and I think it's really, really cute. I think it was originally designed as a little Valentine's Day gift, maybe for those friends at school, and I think maybe with the school leavers coming up soon, it will be a great little teacher's gift as well. So you can find the link for this pattern over on the website as well, but there are 3 different ones to choose from. I must admit the caterpillar is my favourite. This is the first of a couple of different mandalas that have been added to this roundup. I love the look of mandalas. I've never designed one. I have elements of them in some of my patterns, but I don't love weaving in ends, and the fact that you have to change colours so many times to get this beautiful effect isn't my favourite thing. But when I've got those little bits of scrap left, I think mandalas are great projects to do. Now this one is by Hooked On Patterns. Again, their photography is really identifiable, very clean photos, and really highlights the texture in the stitches. I really like the look of this one. Once again, this is linked over on my website and super easy to find. I seem to have picked quite a few scholastic type of patterns today, including this beautiful bookmark. It's like a hibiscus flower, which is really, really cute. It's by Simply Melanie Jane. Again, she features a lot in this roundup because I think her patterns are great stash busting patterns and they're really simple to follow. I've worked with Melanie Jane a number of times and I find her patterns to be easy to follow, and she's a great designer as well. Now, not all of our scrap projects have to be just pretty. I like the fact that we can actually create some really practical patterns with our scrap yarn, and these gorgeous round headphone covers from Golden Berry are up there in something that I want to make. I don't even own a pair of headphones. I should, but I get to blast my music as loud as I like, so I don't need to rely on headphones. And I'm usually in the car, so I can't wear headphones in the car when I'm driving, but I love this pattern. And I think if you've got people around you that wear headphones, these are really, really cute to kind of personalize them without having to spend a fortune on fancy ones. Now, you know, I cannot resist anything that features a granny square and create this really cute cup cozy. I can see this on a bigger cup other than the one that's in this photo, but a crochet fix who's designed this. The simplicity is beautiful, and I think you can use up lots of different scrap colours in your granny squares, which is my preferred use of scrap yarn. I've got another featured pattern here from Golden Berry because I love the idea of making my own jewellery and things that are combining crochet with different crafts. And jewellery making is such a wonderful craft that I feel that this gorgeous bracelet is simplistic in the fact that it can fit anybody because it just has a bow detail to secure it closed. And I just think it's really pretty. I can imagine seeing it in a yarn, a variegated yarn that has a really quick colour change, so you can get the different colours showing through as you stitch it up. Now, alongside these patterns that I've highlighted, there are also another 20 different scrap projects that use under 100 grams of yarn. There's coasters, there's washcloths, scrunchies, even a really cute bunny worry worm, which I think you would love to stitch up. Now, moving on to those times where you have a little bit more scrap yarn to use, say you've got a bit of a magic ball, or you've got maybe 1 to 200 grams, I think that's closer to 200 grams of the same amount of scrap yarn. You can choose to kind of blend colours together, just kind of get that scrap organised and put them together, or you can make projects like this beautiful beanie. This is the Scandi Stash Buster, and it's by Dora Does, again, an amazing designer. I love the simplicity of making colour do the work for you and creating that style for you, and this beanie is absolute perfection for me. It looks like it's using the moss stitch or something similar, but making the colours do the work. Gives you a nice even colour change, but busting that stash all at the same time. Something I really, really love is using my crochet in the bathroom, which sounds a little bit weird. I haven't yet mastered the art of crocheting in the bath. I always pull out too much wool and it would fall into the water. But I love the idea of creating bath mitts like this one by Blue Star Crochet. You know that I have my own cotton grass spar set that is also made with cotton, much like this bath mitt is. And it just means that we can get the most out of our crochet, putting it to good use, if that makes sense. I love making pretty things. I love making blankets and garments, but sometimes you need a smaller project that's going to use up some of your stash. Say you've only got a few balls left of one colour. This is a great way to kind of bust that stash and make it practical and usable at the same time. So thank you to Blue Star Crochet for letting me share that one with you. You know that I'm not a maker of amigurumi projects, but I really do enjoy looking at them. I think they are adorable. I just don't have the patience for those lots of sewing patterns. And I know that there is a huge trend for the no-sew amigurumi. This is not a no-sew, but it's definitely what they call a low-sew. And this is the Cat Amigurumi project from DIY Fluffies. Did have a good look through their website because there are some absolutely adorable patterns on there. But this cat is just stunning. And once again, you can see that they've just used different yarn weights to create different finished sizes of the projects. And for me, that means I can grab any yarn off of my shelf and recreate this and just wait and see which size it turns out. Going back to the practical look, Rafamusa Designs has once again grabbed my attention with this magic hot pot cloth. I think it's like a pot holder. The way that the finished project is folded is what makes it magic. It's called like origami crochet, and it's a really interesting pattern. I would highly recommend you go and check it out. All of these patterns, as I've said, are linked on the website, and there's a link to the website page right there in the description box for you. But as I said, you can really identify Rafamusa's designs by the photography, and as always, it just makes me want to make it. I haven't included quite so many scrap projects when it comes to that 200 to 300 gram weight, because they tend to be, that's quite a useful amount of yarn, but it could be you just want to bust some of your stash. So there are 6 other patterns that I've included in that section of the roundup, including headbands, water bottle covers. We've got fingerless gloves, a beautiful crochet cowl, but in the next size or next weight of yarn amount that we have, there are some bigger projects that are really exciting to make. So we're going into the 200 to 300 gram range here, and I am actually starting with one of my own because why not? It's my my Running Rings Tea Cozy. It can be made with scrap yarn, and you can make it as colourful or as bright as you want to, but I used a size 3 yarn for this one. I just love the simplicity. You know I love anything granny stitch, and any excuse to work the granny stitch in the circle just makes me happy. This pattern has a video tutorial on my channel, so I'll pop a link for you in the top right hand corner for you to go and check that one out. My crochet place has a couple of patterns in this roundup as well, and this one really caught my attention because there's a number of techniques you can learn with it. You know, I'm always about trying something new, and with this gorgeous men's crocheted cowl, it uses the herringbone stitch, but it also encourages you to make your foundation chain using the herringbone as well, which I thought was a little bit different. And also I can see this worked in multiple colours. I think it's been double stranded to get that beautiful look. You know how much I love double stranding to create different colours. And this pattern would certainly work really well in grabbing 2 of your colours of scrap yarn that you've got to create that beautiful cowl. We have another mandala. I told you there are a few in here, and this one grabbed my attention because it is so colourful and so beautiful. This is by Best Crochet Life. This pattern is called Anna's mandala, and it's really beautiful. I love all the different textures in it. Gives you different height options. I just like, they're both photographed very similarly. The one I showed you before is by a different designer. This one has a little bit more spacing in it. It's got some puff stitches in there, or popcorns actually, having a closer look at the photo. And they're just absolutely beautiful. I really like this mandala. If you enjoy making mandalas, Best Crochet Life has a couple more mandalas over on their website for you to view as well, and they're all beautiful. I also found this amazing stash busting set over on Dora Does website. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a beanie and a scarf that's kind of like a combo match, and she's actually worked this in a number of colours that to create this look, and I really like how the ribbing highlights the colours in the yarn. Absolutely stunning, and it's one of those things that anyone would want to wear. You know, if you gifted this to someone, they'd certainly go out and wear it with pride. And of course, we can never have enough handmade scarves and beanies in our lives. There are some other patterns that are linked on the website for this kind of amount of yarn weight, including some crochet baskets and some other scarf options as well. I just love the fact that there's so many different understandings of what scrap yarn is, and it doesn't have to be scrap busting. We can be stash busting all at the same time as well. For me, one of the best ways to kind of bust that stash is when we get into those 400 grams or 4 skeins or more, we're looking at blankets. And you know I'm a fan of making a blanket, especially with multiple different colours. So of course I had to mention my own hodgepodge blanket that has 30 different granny squares or square projects that you can join together. You can make those squares in any of the colours that you have. And actually, I think the bolder the better when it comes to this design. Some of the other featured patterns in this kind of section on my roundup are also granny square blankets. And the first one has to be the Rainbow Granny Square, which is again from Raf Musa Design. Am I a fan or what? So this blanket contains 14 different granny square variations. And if like me, you're a fan of the granny square, this is a good one to go ahead and make. I had to include at least one garment pattern in this, and I've gone for Simply Melanie Jane's The Wolf Canyon cardigan, and it uses quite a nice gentle texture. I can see this worked up in striped colours and kind of making it your own by using your scrap yarn to make it less classical and a little bit more modern as well by using lots of different colours. The final pattern I'm sharing with you is another blanket, but this one is worked in rose, and it is the Summer Crochet Throw. I think what's caught my attention has to be the beautiful tassels. I think everything looks better with a tassel on it, and I love the simplicity. Again, it uses the same stitch throughout, but you can control where the colours are changed to create your own interesting blanket. So I didn't actually make any further progress with my magic ball here, but I'm certainly feeling inspired to go and stitch up a few more projects. I hope that you're also feeling inspired and are ready to start busting that stash and get stitching to make use of all of the yarn you have. Do let me know in the comments if there are any particular patterns that you're going to be racing off to start stitching, and I will see you in the next video.